Greetings all, this is Info Voice discussion number 1. Today we will be discussing what is right or wrong with America. I am Alexander Sherman, and today we have Katie, Kyle, Thomas, JP, and our newest addition, Jeff. Today we will be analyzing a clip from the show Newsroom with Jeff Daniels. And now we will be showing that clip to you. Be warned that there is adult language and things contained in the clip.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Well, why is America
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so
Smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
Hey, and with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom?
Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain,
Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl,
Just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day,
there's some things you should know, and one of them is there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science,
49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the you're talking about. Yosemite? Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough?
Alright, so since we are all here together now, we've all viewed the video, even those that are listening at home. So, what is right with America, or what is wrong with it? Well, personally, I think Jeff Daniels had a pretty valid point on every segment of the video. It's back in perhaps the earlier days of America, it was perhaps top-notch. We made most of our own stuff, but lately it's gone away to something I guess that it wasn't meant to be in the first place. Tom?
So I agree with the video as well. I agree with Alex. I don't think America is the greatest country in the world, and I don't think it ever was the greatest country in the world. I think greatness has to be defined as how the citizens view the country and the overall living standards of the country. We are far on the list of many of the greatness we can be. I mean, we don't have the highest living standards. We have very high infant mortality rate compared to a lot of European nations. We spend a lot of our taxes on military. We only have a two-party system for electing a president. We're not the greatest technological country anymore. And our school system is by far not as great as many European nations as well. These are just many things that don't make us the greatest country and the citizens in the country to believe it is the greatest.
I agree with the video as well. I don't think that America ever was the greatest country. I do believe that we had a high point during the 50s. There was a lot of people being very, very proud of where they're from. And a lot of that was with the World War II. And then something that I talk about, pinup culture, that began. So women got to kind of have a voice, you know, be independent. But still, just overall, America is not that great. Today, all of our products that we get are made in China, or made in Taiwan, or India, or some other country besides America. So if we are sending all of our money out, and all we're focusing on is really unimportant stuff, and then the people, the citizens, are ashamed of where they're from. Like, I personally would think it's kind of weird to have an American flag in front of my house. And I would think people should be a little more patriotic of where they're from. And if Americans think that America isn't that great, then how does everyone else look at them? Yeah, that's my thought. What about you, JP?
I think that America's nations in general are only as good as their greatest accessory. And right now, America has no good accessory. There are very few things good in America. The fast food chain is good in America, and that's not a good thing, technically. It's really bad for you. The amount of food in America could feed almost 5 Americas. We waste so much. And like the video said, America's only top in 3 things. Incarceration, the thought that angels are real, and defense spending. Not 3 things, well, angels maybe, but the other 2, not really things you want to be at the top of, especially incarceration. So America definitely, right now, is not the greatest nation in the world. If all else doesn't convince you, just look at the national debt. It's skyrocketed like none other. There are good moments in America. Ronald Reagan comes to mind. He did good for America. Other people did good for America, but right now it's just really, really bad.
Yeah, I'd say just this, the statement of saying that America is the greatest country altogether is just kind of an arrogant statement. I mean, when you don't really, when you've never really been there, when you don't really acquire the lifestyle that is acquired in other nations, and I don't know a lot about other countries. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't exactly read into it a lot, but like, just in terms of my observations in America, the things that I'm bothered by, like, number 1 is certainly overpopulation. There's those times when you're, you know, in traffic and there's just, you know, you're overwhelmed by too many passengers to the left and too many passengers to the right. I know that's just like not really that, you know, I don't even, my words, yeah, but, and you know, like JP said earlier, like how we waste so much food. Like I work at Anthony's now, and I noticed that myself. Like people are just, we bake like 10 house pies a night, and they just sit there. And when we have slow nights, but who cares? We just put all those pizzas in a box, and they get thrown out the next night, and they don't go to the R Center or anything like that. Like, just observations that I make. You know, obviously gas is ridiculous right now. I mean, I'm so bad at economy stuff. I'm sorry.
That's right.
I'm a sports guy. How do you feel, Kyle?
America, a land I was born on and most likely will die on. I can agree with all of you that we just aren't the greatest country in the world. I've seen or I've heard of worser times when we pulled ourselves out of a poor economy and poverty. For example, when America went through the stock market crash, that lasted about 10 years until World War II got out. We were able to pull ourselves out of that because we were able to sell stuff over to Europe to get money. And that was in the past. That was almost 50 years ago. But now, we're not even anywhere near in a situation like this, and we can't even create even more jobs for many people out there. I also remember a time when I could go to school at a younger age without not having to worry about what guns were or what mass murdering was. Now I can't turn on the news without some poor children being shot to death. As all you, and with Mr. Daniels, we certainly are not the greatest country in the world. In the past, we reached for the stars. Now we can't even reach up to the sky. And that just makes me very, very sad.